am I the only one that didn't know that apparently Latinos were like begging black people for support and help now that Donald Trump is trying to deport?
Why is gas $5 a gallon? And like, why do I have to pay rent?
And black people trying to learn a line dance with fans.
The American empire is on full display. Mask totally off. And who do you think we should turn to for wisdom on how to resist? Because there's a community in this nation that has been targeted by this empire from the beginning, and that has resisted this empire from the beginning. And that's the black community, and particularly black Christians. And there's a reason why they're resting right now, and they're pulled back right now, because I believe the Lord is strengthening them to lead in this upcoming season. Because nobody knows the empire like targets of the empire. And nobody sings, "We shall overcome," like those who have come out of the furnace of affliction.
ICE protesting. Are you shocked that black people are not out there protesting?
No, I'm going to main people on there to Auntie Buffy is saying, stay your black ass home. What we're not doing is shedding any more black blood. No, this is white people problem and they need to fix it.
Oh.
It
okay.
is.
Okay.
It is. It's time. We've done it forever. It's not like we've not given them the playbook. Go back and look at what we did in the 60s. Our ancestors did. Y'all need to figure it out. Cause, and you know, now they're shooting them too, but you know, plenty of us shot. So it's y'all's turn. It's your people's turn.
Oh,
yeah. He knows. No, I'm real. Like
Yeah.
It is what it is. I think we can advocate on social media. I think we can work behind the scenes. I think we can fund GoFundMe accounts for people that get harmed. But I don't think black people should be used as shields in this movement. I just don't.
Can we talk? Let me tell you something. As a journalist that is no longer in a traditional newsroom at the moment, when I tell you black Americans, the descendants of the enslaved, push the culture, that is what I'm talking about. That entity that currently occupies the White House, when I tell you that he is not happy with the fact that we have sat this one out, when I tell you that other subgroups are not happy that we have sat out and are scratching their head and wondering why we ain't nowhere to be found, despite being the highest unemployment rate group, despite quite literally being hunted in this country. Despite it all, somehow we are still finding a way. Somehow we are still finding our joy. We are still making a way. We are still in community with one another and building. I refuse, moving forward, going forward, arguing with anybody about the black American experience. I am no longer arguing with nobody. Nuh-uh. You are not cut from the same cloth, and you cannot compete where you cannot compare. I will not be explaining that any further. The mere fact that we collectively in November of 2024, altogether the majority of us, 98%, dare I say, decided that we are not going to do this. We're going to sit this one out. Y'all got it. And we are in lockstep. I hope you understand our power at this point. I hope you understand just how.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we are discussing a growing conversation that has been gaining attention online, and it centers around a provocative idea. Whites are panicking because black people have refused to help in protests. You know, black people are saying that they have been working enough and it's time to rest. So let's just understand this topic because it's reflecting on opinions, it's reflecting on social debates and frustrations that many people are expressing on social media. It's not about attacking any race, but rather examining the conversations taking place around labor, around expectations, and the value of rest. So let's continue watching these clips. I'll be back with more commentaries. And in case of any thoughts, kindly feel free to let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, stay tuned.
How powerful we are when we are in lockstep with each other. Our ancestors are proud. They are very proud, but there's still work to do. While everybody is trying to spin the narrative and trying to get us up out of our rest, we got to remember not to let them. mind your business, make your money, save your money, build your community, and go on about your business. Because as you can see, when you think the harm is going to come to somebody else, you find it on your doorstep. And maybe now, because we're going to continue to rest. We cannot let up. We cannot let up by any means. Maybe, just maybe, other groups will fall in line and figure it out and understand that we are better together than apart. Okay? But it starts with us, because clearly they wanted us in the streets. Clearly they wanted us up in arms because Kamala D. Harris, Madam Vice President, Attorney General Harris was not elected. The mere fact that we are still showing up and showing out, that got people mad, got people rocked, got people wondering what in the heck. It's gonna get worse. But as I've said several times, you cannot think my house is gonna be on fire and yours isn't gonna catch on fire, because we are too mixed up now. Our kids are too mixed up. We are too mixed up in our workplace, in our workspaces, in our neighborhoods. So the quicker people get on some get right and start putting into some action, because that's what it's going to take at this point. It's going to take action. And the action cannot come from us first. I mean, that's pretty obvious. But yeah, no. Black Americans, the descendants of the enslaved, please continue to rest and just find your joy where you can.
So today on here, I saw something that really bothered me. A Latino woman basically was asking why the black community isn't there for the Latino community like they were there for us during BLM. Oh boy, y'all might want to buckle up for this one, because this is about to be a CM Punk type rant. And in the theme of this Phil Brooks type rant, let me go and say the words that he once said to the universe. Do we have everybody's attention now? Now then, I say that because I find it funny that it takes us stepping back as a community entirely for people to recognize what's going on. Now, notice I said it was funny. I did not say I was shocked. Because this is what always happens. You see, somehow we are always blamed for things, despite the fact that a lot of times it's not our fault. And this one definitely is not our fault. Did you see those voting numbers? We didn't put that piece of shit in office. You did it. But you say you helped us during BLM and that's why we should help you? I don't remember that. Because you see, what I remember is that it took a black man losing his life at a point where the world had no choice but to watch for you to recognize that we go through shit. But you have the gall to sit there and blame us when the only thing that we did was try to prevent this from happening. Hey, I actually have a crazy idea. How about, instead of blaming my community, you do what everybody tells us to do and check your own? Because they were the ones with the superiority complexes that made them think that they were better than people that look just like them. And excuse me, but why do we always have to be the ones that have grace for people? Because from where I'm sitting, a lot of people don't show us that same grace when things happen with us. Because the thing is, we read the 900-page document. We researched. We looked into things. I'm not sure we could say the same about you. Now then, I know it's not everybody. So right now, we need as much solidarity as possible. Period. Now then, if you want to sit there and point fingers, cool, whatever. But us, we got a world to save. So what you do from this point is up to you.
You know, for generations, the Black Americans have played a critical role in building communities, in building industries and institutions. And from agriculture to manufacturing, from the healthcare to education, the Black workers have consistently contributed to enormous amounts of labor and talents to the society. Yet, many people still argue that these contributions have often gone underappreciated or even under-recognized. And recently, a growing number of voices online have been saying something simple but very much powerful, that we have done enough, it's time to focus on ourselves. And this sentiment is showing up in different forms. Some people are choosing not to volunteer for causes they feel have ignored their concerns. Others are stepping away from workplaces that they believe do not value them. Some are focusing their energy on family, personal well-being, and supporting businesses within their own communities. And the message is not necessarily about refusing to work altogether. Instead, many are saying that they no longer want to carry burdens that they believe have been unfairly placed on them for so many years. And what has surprised some observers is the reaction. Many people who are accustomed to Black communities providing labor, support, and cultural influence are suddenly noticing what happens when that participation slows down. And conversations that were once ignored are now getting attention because of the absence of that contribution is becoming more visible. Think about it this way. Often people don't fully appreciate something until it's no longer available. So whether it's a worker in an office, a family member, or an entire community, contributions can become so routine that they are taken for granted. And that is exactly what many online commentators are arguing about, even while I was perusing through the social media. They say that Black labor, Black creativity, and Black community, their support have been treated as guaranteed resources rather than valued contributions. And as a result, some people are embracing the idea of rest as a form of protest. And resting is becoming more than just taking a day off, it's becoming a statement. So, it's a way of saying that productivity should not define a person's worth. It is a way of pushing back against expectations that certain groups must constantly give while receiving little in return. So, this conversation has also connected with broader discussions about burnout. And across all communities, people are feeling exhausted. The rising costs, economic uncertainty, and social pressures have left many workers feeling drained. But for some Black Americans, that exhaustion is being discussed through the lens of historical expectations and long-standing inequalities. Many are asking difficult questions. Why should they always be expected to solve problems that they did not create? Why should they continue pouring energy into systems they believe do not adequately support them? And why is rest sometimes viewed as laziness when certain groups choose it, but viewed as self-care when others do the same? So these questions have sparked passionate debates, and supporters are arguing that setting boundaries is healthy. They believe that every community has the right to prioritize its own well-being and recovery. Yes, and then there are people who worry that withdrawing participation could deepen divisions and make cooperation more difficult. But regardless of where people stand, one thing is clear, that the conversation is forcing many people to rethink the relationship between work, between value and respect. And another interesting aspect of this debate is the growing emphasis on self-investment. Instead of spending all their time helping institutions or organizations they feel disconnected from, many individuals are investing in their own education, businesses, and families. They are asking themselves a simple question: that what happens if we put ourselves first for once? For some, the answer has been improved mental health. For others, it's more than time with loved ones. And for many, it's the opportunity to build something lasting within their own community. So this shift has really challenged traditional expectations. And people who assumed certain support systems would always be available are realizing that nothing should be taken for granted. Respect, cooperation, and participation are relationships. They depend on mutual benefit and mutual recognition. And when one side feels overlooked, eventually there may be a push to re-evaluate that relationship. And that's what makes this discussion so significant. At its core, this is not simply about race, it's also about human limits. Every person, regardless of background, has a point where they become tired of carrying responsibilities without feeling appreciated. Every community eventually asks whether its efforts are producing fair outcomes, and every generation re-examines the expectations placed upon it. And as this conversation continues, it will likely remain controversial. Some will see it as empowerment, others will see it as withdrawal. Some will celebrate it, while others will criticize it. But perhaps the biggest takeaway is this, that people want their contributions to be recognized. They want their work to matter. They want their sacrifices to be acknowledged. And they want the freedom to decide when it's time to work, when it's time to help, and when it's time to rest. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this commentary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think rest can be a form of protest, or do you believe communities should continue helping regardless of recognition? And let us know your perspective. We'll see you in the next video. Of course, all credit belongs to the original creators of the video. Thank you. See you in the next one.